Meet the new boss, same as the old boss. Are they going to hold the cokehead in contempt? The mayor of Boston is not dreaming of a white Christmas. And would you let your kid join the Satan Club? Stay tuned, everybody. For the best meat you have ever eaten in your life, go to samsbutchershop.com. Enter the coupon code TTT when you check out for a 10% discount. Hello, everybody. Trailer Trash Tim. How's everybody doing? And a happy Friday to you all. I hope you are doing well. Thank you so much for joining me on the show here today. There's an awful lot of things going on in the news. We'll get to it in just a minute. I just want to let you know I heard this morning one of the funniest holiday jokes I've ever heard, and I'm going to share it with you at the end of the show, okay? So stay tuned for that. Thank you all for, again, for joining me, and let's get going. I want to start with this. Since he was elected Speaker, the new Speaker of the House of Representatives, Mike Johnson has been, to me anyway, nothing but an utter and complete and thorough disappointment. I didn't know anything about the guy when he got elected, but now I know all I need to know about him. And his actions as Speaker of the House leave me scratching my head and asking myself, why on earth did we bother getting rid of Kevin McCarthy if we're just going to wind up with this guy? Because I can't imagine Kevin McCarthy, the former Speaker of the House who was ousted, I can't imagine him doing things much differently than the way Mike Johnson has been doing things here lately in Congress. Absolutely toting the water for the opposition and for the neocons and the big government Republicans that are in the House. And yesterday was just the latest example of what I'm talking about. As you may know, the National Defense Authorization bill it had been in the Senate. It came over for a vote in the House, and this bill passed. It should not have passed. It was predictable, of course, that it would pass, and of course with Republican support. This bill, the National Defense Authorization Act, is an $886 billion bill. And these are some of the features which had the Rand Paul, Thomas Massie wing, if you will, of Congress all up in arms, and with good reason. Because this bill does the following things. Number one, among other things, I'm not going to go into great detail over all of the objections to this bill. It continues the abortion travel policy, meaning that the federal government will take care of the expenses for members of the military who are traveling to other states to obtain abortion services. It continues that policy. It continues the electronic spying of American citizens. It does nothing to stop that whatsoever. It continues the FISA courts. This is what I'm talking about, is warrantless searching of American citizens, okay? This is the kind of thing that Edward Snowden, who now is forced to live out of the country, was warning us all about. It's also the thing that Ron Paul warned us about when every single member of Congress back post 9/11 voted for the Patriot Act, and Ron Paul warned us all, you're making a mistake. It includes things like this Bush-era FISA warrant, which is connected to the electronic spying of American citizens. That's all in this bill. It's being continued by this bill. I think it was 73 Republicans and 45 Democrats, to their credit, by the way, who opposed this bill because of this. Among the people who voted for this bill were Lauren Boebert, remember, the one who liked to go necking at the movie theater, Congressman Gary Palmer of Alabama, Birmingham, Mike Rogers, who is my congressman, the man with the wig, Dan Crenshaw, the man with the eye patch, And on it goes. Steve Scalise voted for it. Thomas Massey opposed it. God bless him. Ryan Zinke voted for it. Congressman from Montana, big in the Trump administration. The bill also includes $300 million more for, you guessed it, Zelensky the Nazi, the actor, the puppet president of Ukraine. $300 million more. He came back to Washington this week with his handout, and magically $300 more appears for this guy for the corrupt regime in Ukraine. If you haven't figured it out by now, you should know by now that this is a losing effort. Russia is going to prevail in this conflict, as they should, and we're just wasting more money. It also includes more funds for the nation that controls the United States. That would be Israel. Everybody's all in for Israel. And so Mike Johnson spearheads all this, and he pushes all this through. He shouldn't have even brought it up for a vote, but he did. He's speaker. He can do that. So this guy is nothing but a disappointment. He's just, as I said, meet the new boss, same as the old boss. Things just don't change in Washington. So the National Defense Authorization Act has passed, and now it goes to the desk of the occupant of the White House, where it will be signed, no question about it. Because, it's only money, folks, right? So you lose your privacy and your rights as an American citizen with this thing being passed into law by the big guy. $886 billion. Do you remember after, was it right after 9/11, I think it was? I'm not sure. But it was, Rumsfeld was the Secretary of Defense, and that is when the Defense Department was, I guess, audited, and they were found to come up. Somebody corrected me on this one time, and I went back and I looked into it, and they were absolutely right. I said they came up $1 trillion was unaccounted for in the Defense Department, and 2 or 3 people corrected me in the comments in the video where I talked about that. They said, no, it's a lot more than that. It was several $1 trillion. And so if I give you $1 trillion and you lose it, do you think it's wise of me to turn around and give you another $1 trillion, which is ostensibly what this bill does? $1 trillion here, $1 trillion there, it's only money, right? I mean, we're $33 trillion in debt, and I can't get anybody to explain to this simple-minded country boy in Alabama, how do we pass bills where we allocate $886 billion to all these agencies when we're $33 trillion in debt? Oh, I forgot. That's right. We've got a printing press. How would you like to have that? Wouldn't that be nice? All right, let's move on. Let's talk about the cokehead. The cokehead came to Washington a couple of days ago because he had been compelled to come to Congress to give testimony. And, of course, who do I mean by the cokehead? Of course, I'm talking about Hunter Biden. The Oversight Committee chairman, James Comer of Kentucky and Jim Jordan of Ohio, have initiated contempt of Congress proceedings against the cokehead after he failed to appear for a subpoenaed closed-door deposition this past Wednesday. If you're keeping up with this, then you know that the cokehead came to Washington, but he refused to meet behind closed doors with the House committee. Instead, he did his own little speech out in front of the Capitol building, where he denied all these wild accusations against him. That's what the cokehead did. So now Comey and Jim Jordan have initiated contempt of Congress charges against him. The same kind of thing happened with Steve Bannon. And, of course, Democrats were outraged by that, but this is okay. It's because, of his last name. Comer said, Comer and Jordan wrote, "We will not provide special treatment for him because his last name is Biden. As our committees were today prepared to depose Hunter Biden, he chose to make a public statement on Capitol Hill instead, where he said his father, Joe Biden, was not financially involved in his family's business dealings. That, of course, is simply not the case. And I want to take a moment to go over so much of, or a portion, if you will, of the mountain of evidence that we have against the Biden crime family and the big guy. I'm just going to give you a little sampling of this, okay? We have at least, there are at least 6 cases of mounting evidence against Joe Biden, and here they are. Number 1, Biden family members and Biden business-linked entities received more than $15 million from individuals in Ukraine, Russia, Kazakhstan, Romania, and China. This is why we call them the Biden crime family. It ain't just Hunter, and it ain't just the big guy. It's the whole famdamly, right? Number 2, Joe Biden spoke with Hunter Biden's business associates at least 22 times. Remember, the big guy has denied doing this. But we have record, we have proof of this, for heaven's sakes. Not just evidence, we have proof. Number 3, Joe Biden lied about his involvement in the business. He has lied about that. He's denied this, but it's true. Number 4, Joe Biden, the big guy, received direct monthly payments from Hunter Biden's Owasco PC business account, which received payments from Chinese state-linked companies and other foreign nationals and companies. Number 5, investigators flagged the Justice Department's deviations in the 5-year investigation into Hunter Biden, the cokehead. And number 6, an FBI FD-1023 form alleges Joe Biden accepted a $5 million bribe while vice president. I'll tell you something else he did. He took home classified documents while vice president. As you know, all holy hell was raised by the Democrats at Trump for having classified documents. And of course, the simple fact of the matter is a president, any president, can declassify any document. Biden had classified documents not while president, but while vice president. Where'd we find them? In the trunk of his Corvette. Now, Biden has denied all this. The big guy has denied all this, but we've got evidence of it now. And this is why I'm starting with this. Is one reason. The other reason being his health or lack thereof. This is one reason why I don't know if Biden is going to make it to the general election because, folks, I'm telling you, we've got the goods on this guy. My point would simply be, if were his last name Trump, he'd already be gone. And everybody damn well knows it. These people, because their name is Biden or Obama or Clinton, because they're Democrats, they do nothing but get a pass. They get a pass from the ruling elites in Washington, D.C. They get a pass from the bureaucrats. They get a pass from the FBI. They get a pass from the IRS. They get a pass from the mainstream media because they're Democrats. It's as simple as that. If there is such an obvious double standard in Washington, it is glaring. Were this Trump, if Hunter Biden's last name was Trump, he'd already be under the prison. But because he is a Democrat or the son of a Democrat, because he's a Biden, because 99% of the people who live in the Beltway are Democrats, they do nothing but get a pass and a get-out-of-jail-free card. It's as simple as that. It is an absolute double standard. It is an hypocrisy. And everybody in flyover country, and everybody's got a brain in their skull, knows it. But perhaps we can only pray that the tide is turning, and maybe we can have some justice done in the case of the Biden crime family. All right, let me move on. This story's a few days old, but I hadn't had a chance, pardon me, to cover it. So I want to talk about it now. The mayor of Boston, ladies and gentlemen, is a young lady by the name of Michelle Wu. Woo! Michelle Woo. Little nature boy action there, right? Inside baseball. Boston Mayor Michelle Woo is evidently not dreaming of a white Christmas. Have you heard about this story? There was an inter-office memorandum sent out by a lady, a woman of color, by the name of Denise Dos Santos. And the email, and Denise Dos Santos is the Director of City Council Relations in the City of Boston, the Office of Intergovernmental Relations. And Denise Dos Santos, who holds this position, sent out this email, and the title of the email is, get this now, Elected of Color Holiday Party Tomorrow. This was sent out earlier this month. And it reads thusly: Honorable members, on behalf of Mayor Michelle Woo, I cordially invite you and a guest to the Electeds of Color holiday party on Wednesday, December 13th at 5:30 p.m. at the Parkman House on 33 Beacon Street. Please let me know if you plan to attend and if you have any dietary restrictions. Best, Denise Dos Santos, in parentheses, she, her, hers. Those are her pronouns, don't you know? Hey, are any of you using pronouns? I think you all need to comment down below. I want everybody to comment down below and give me your pronoun so I will know how to, or your pronouns, so I will properly know how to address you. This is a chance for some of you to get a little witty if you follow my drift. So if your name is John Smith, comment down below, John, and make sure you give me your pronoun or pronouns, because, we got to be PC here, right? So Denise Dos Santos, she, her, hers, is letting everybody know to come to the Electeds of Color holiday party. So if you're reading between the lines, then you should realize that this party, let's just say, ain't for everybody. It is an Elected of Colors holiday party, not a Christmas party. We can't say Christmas because we might offend all the she, her, hers out there, right? You're going to hear Merry Christmas for me. I ain't saying holiday. It's all about Christmas for me. Sorry, but that's the way it is. Yeah, I wasn't invited to the Elected of Colors holiday party. Now let's cut to the chase, shall we? The bottom line is, this party is exclusionary, meaning it ain't for honkies. It ain't for crackers like me. It ain't for honky boys like me, like Trailer Trash Tim. I was not invited to this party. Now let me tell you how I really feel about this. If you are a person of color, I don't really care, and you want to have your private Christmas party, and you just want to, and let's just say you're a black person and you just want to have a Christmas party or a holiday party, and you just want to invite black people to your party, and you don't want me to come to your party, guess what? It ain't going to hurt my feelings. Knock yourself out. I don't really care. If you are in a neighborhood where you just want to, you're an Asian person and you just want to invite Asians to your party, go for it. I don't care. It don't hurt my feelings. If you're, whatever, man. I mean, it can be if you're American Indian and you just want to have Indians at your party, go right ahead. I don't care. It doesn't matter. It seems to me to be a little problematic, however, when it's a governmental type function or event, and you're having something called an Elected of Color. What the hell does that even mean? I'll tell you what it means. It means if you're elected and you're a person of color. Let's just cut to the chase, shall we? If you're a person of color, if the party is for people of color, it simply means you can come if you're not white. That's what that means, okay? That's all it means. If you're white, you can't come, but they're not going to come out. I mean, it's blatant enough as it is, but they're not going to come out and say, we're having a party and we want everybody to come, but not you white people. That's what it means. So why don't you just be honest and say that? Okay? Again, any of y'all watching me that are having a Christmas party or a holiday party or a Hanukkah party, and you just want particular people to come to your party, knock yourself out. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I really don't. I'm just struck by the hypocrisy of the whole thing, you know? Because, sorry, I got something in my mouth. Pardon me. Democrat, and of course these are Democrats. Did I even need to say that? These people are so hypocritical because they pass themselves off as being so compassionate and so caring and so loving and so tolerant and so accepting, and they are anything but. They're not caring, they're not loving, they're not tolerant, they're not compassionate. If you're a white person, they're anything but. As we see here. Do you need any more evidence of this? They're such phonies, such phony baloney, such hypocrites. Oh, we're so inclusive and we just love everyone and we want to include anyone, but not you evil white people, you colonial slave-owning white people. Come on, man. Just be real. Just be honest. Just tell the truth about what you believe, because you're not. You're just playing around the edges. You're trying to pass yourself off as being something that you clearly are not. Just be honest. Is that too much to ask? All right, let me move on. This is unfreaking believable. This is a story from my neighbors to the north up in Tennessee. Listen at this. This appeared in, was it the Daily Caller, I think? This is the headline. From Tennessee, Satan Club opens at elementary school because of the Constitution. Listen at this. This is a tweet sent out by the Satanic Temple. We just announced that the after-school Satan Club is coming to Tennessee at Chimney Rock Elementary School! Exclamation point. Today, the Memphis Shelby County Schools District will be holding a Q&A session with their legal and facilities team. This appeared in the New York Post. An after-school Satan Club is slated to start at a Tennessee elementary school, much to the dismay of district leaders who acknowledge they lack legal options to stop the controversial program. Already active in a handful of states, the program hosted by the Satanic Temple is scheduled to begin at Chimney Rock Elementary School when students return from holiday break. Memphis Shelby County Schools interim superintendent Tony Williams slammed the incoming program, but said there's not much she can do to stop it. This is a quote, "I want to assure you that I do not endorse, I do not support the beliefs of this organization at the center of recent headlines," Williams said. "I do, however, support the law, and as superintendent, I am duty-bound to uphold our board policy, state laws, and the Constitution," unquote. Can you believe this bullshit? Sorry, but that's what it is. So, I wish I could show you this woman's picture. This is her name is Tony Williams. Let's just say she's a person of color. She could attend the Boston holiday party. The Satan Club is starting at Chimney Rock Elementary School in Tennessee, and everybody's outraged by it. But Tony Williams, the interim school superintendent, says, I'm not in favor of the Satan Club at our elementary school, but because of the Constitution, there's nothing I can do about it. Hey, Ms. Williams, can old Triple T ask you a question since you're so concerned about the Constitution? The Constitution also guarantees the right of Americans to bear arms. So if the teachers and students of Chimney Rock Elementary School brought a weapon, a gun, to school with them, Ms. Williams, would you be equally as upset about that and say, oh no, I don't think they should be bringing a gun to school, but the Constitution says they can, so I'm not going to stop them. Would you do the same thing for that? Huh? I kind of think you'd stop that. If people started bringing guns to Chimney Rock Elementary School, you'd probably stand in the doorway and say, hell no, you're not bringing a gun into the school building. But why not? If you're going to be consistent, it's constitutional, right? So you'd stop the guns from coming in. And I'm not advocating that you let kids bring guns into school. Although there was a day and a time, but let me not get bogged down. I'm not saying to give the green light to letting elementary school kids bring guns into the classroom. But you sure as hell aren't going to stop them from having a Satan Club on campus. And you stand behind the Constitution as your rationale for allowing it to happen. Well, if you're so in love with the Constitution, why don't you be consistent, Ms. Williams? They're such hypocrites. Now, what's the bottom line about this, folks? Forget the Constitution. These people, they drag out the Constitution when it suits their means. The bottom line is this. If you are a parent in the Shelby, Memphis public school system, and you allow your child, your precious child, to attend a government indoctrination center, elementary style, where they have a Satan Club, then you're not fit to be a parent. Get your kids out of government indoctrination centers if you have them there. Do not expose your children, parents, to this sort of thing. This is not hyperbole. This is not the National Enquirer. This is for real. The Satan Club is coming to an elementary school near you. Are you going to subject your children to that? Are you honestly going to sit there and tell me you're going to allow your child, your precious elementary age school child, to be educated in a government indoctrination center where they may just be starting a Satan Club? We live in bizarro world, ladies and gentlemen. Folks, I'm telling you, Donald Trump is saying in the next go-round he's going to get rid of the Department of Education. Have you heard that? Well, I believe it when I see it, but that's the single best thing I know of that we could do that would enhance the education of our children, is to get rid of the Department of Education. It sounds a little counterintuitive, doesn't it? But let me tell you something. The last entity that you want educating your child is the imperial federal government of the United States. And their evil, wicked agenda. An entity which allows the Satan Club on the campus. This ain't a joke. It's for real. It's right here. You can verify it for yourself. The Satanic Temple is a real thing, and they have clubs on school campi across America. You better, if you got a kid in public school, you might want to make a phone call or two and just check in and see what kind of clubs they're offering at their school. That's what's going on in the news. Don't go anywhere. I got to end on I need something funny. So I got a funny for you. Are you ready for this? Now, don't go anywhere. This is funny. There was a man who went Christmas shopping with his wife. And he took her down to the mall. He didn't really want to go, but he took her down to the mall during the Christmas season. He takes his wife down to the mall so that she can do some Christmas shopping. And you know, she's going in all these stores he has no interest in whatsoever. And he finally says, look, sweetheart, I'm not interested in going in all these dress shops and all these different, you know, boutiques and whatnot. He said, so why don't we just split up and go our separate ways, and I'll go into other places of areas of the mall, and you go wherever you want to go, and we'll meet up later, and you can call me and if you need me. And she said, okay, that's fine, no problem. And so they split up and they went their separate ways. And about an hour later, her husband called her on the phone, and he said, honey, yes, dear. He said, do you remember a few years back when we were near this jewelry store here in the mall? Yes. And do you remember that diamond necklace that you wanted so bad, and I wanted so badly to get it for you? And she starts to tear up, and she said, yeah, I remember. He said, you know how badly I wanted to get you that diamond necklace for Christmas, but we just were so poor, we didn't have any money, and I couldn't afford it. And now she's blubbering. Yes, darling, I remember that. I remember. He said, I remember that. I remember that day too, darling. He said, by the way, right next door to that store is the hunting and fishing store. That's where I'll be when you need to come pick me up. Woo! That's a good one right there. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your mom and dad. Hey, give me your comments down below. Make sure you give me your personal pronoun so I won't offend you, right? Everybody go out there and have a great weekend. Make sure you like this video and give me the thumbs up and subscribe to the old Triple T channel. I appreciate all of you being here with me today. This is Trailer Trash Tim, and I will see you soon.